إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفر ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. Today's lesson we are on. This is lesson, what? Somebody tell me what lesson number this is. This is lesson number 5. Wow, we're really moving along. We're lesson number 5. So this is dars, ad-darsu. What's the number? Khamsa. Look at the number, khamsa. Let's just do a quick review over numbers. We're going to do 1, 2, 9 in Arabic. So we go, say wahid, ithnan, thalatha, arba, khamsa, sitta, saba'a, thamanya, tis'a. We'll stop right there. Okay, and we'll go sifr. Everybody say sifr. Now, just to give you the numbers again. Sifr, if I say the number, anything I say in Arabic, like a terminology, you have to say it in Arabic. Sifr. That is 0. The Muslims, specifically the Indo-Pakistan Muslims, invented the number 0. Sifr. There's no racism in Islam, but we want to give everybody their rights. Okay? The brothers from what we call now India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, that whole area. I know I'm missing some of the countries over there. You know, somebody remember me. Did I miss any country? Those basically those countries right in that area. They invented the number 0. And 0 is a very important number. Through it, when we study Arabic, math in Arabic, they deal a lot with 0. And how 0 is the accompaniment of any one of these numbers. With it makes 110. Okay? And 2 of the zeros make it 100, and so on and so forth. So the concept of 0 was not invented until the Muslims came with it. Okay? So we say sifr. Sifr. All it is 1 dot. Just like that. Sifr. Now everybody say wahid. That's 1. Wahid. Real easy. 2. I'm going to show you how you make it. It's a stroke that just comes down like that. Some people make it up. That's not correct. Don't make it up. Make it down. Make it a down stroke, not an up stroke. Because an up stroke looks a lot similar to 3, thalatha. So don't do this, okay? So make it a down stroke. How are you making it? A down stroke. That's what we're going to do with ithnan. These are little subtleties to the writing when you write with your hand. Now, thalatha. Everybody say thalatha. In English, we write 3 like this, right? Remember, these English numbers are called what? Arabic numerals. That's what they call them, Arabic numerals. There's no question where they got their numbers, the formation of it today. They got it from the Muslims. Okay? So we should always, we're doing this so we know about ourselves. But this is 3. This is 3 in the American formation. This is 3 in the Arabic formation. It looks just like a 3 on its side. Right? And I say make the stem, this is the stem, what is this called? Stem. Make it a little angled, slightly angled, subtly angled. Okay? You can even go like this. And that's thalatha. You see that? Don't make it straight up and down. Okay? This is incorrect. Don't make it like that. Give it a slight tang, slight slant to it. Thalatha. And you shouldn't be able to forget that because look at it. Doesn't it look like a 3? Yes. Okay. Now, arba'a. Everybody say arba. Okay, let me get this thing up here. Arba, this is 4 in English, right? It's 4 in the English diaspora. Arba is just, look, it's strokes, but one, you're not lifting the pen. You see that? Just like that. You can make it more oblong, but this is the same thing. Say arba'a. Arba'a. Very easy. 4. 5. Everybody say 5. 5 in English is like this. In Arabic, you'll see it like a circle that connects like a teardrop at the top. Some people write it like a heart upside down. Okay? But that's a little bit too much. Okay? Really, it's just a circle. Okay? Like almost like a teardrop. You can even make it just like a circle. Oblong, like an egg. Not a perfect circle. All of that is khamsa. Khamsa. All right. Now the next letter. Learning how to count to 5 is very, very important. It helps. Say wahid. Ithnan. Say it like me. Say it like just like children learn it through the little rhyme. Wahid. Ithnan. Thalatha. Arba'a. Khamsa. I know my musical voice ain't too great. It's scratching and everything like that. Okay, khamsa. Sitta. Say sitta. Okay, sitta is just like that. You see, it's the backwards 2. Again, keep the stroke down. Okay, keep the stroke down and go at an angle. It comes over just like that. Just keep the stroke. That's a little wide. That's a little too wide. But just like that. One stroke. Okay? Very easy. Sitta. Sitta. Very similar to 6. Sitta. Okay. Okay, saba'a. Saba'a. It's a V. Just like that. But see, the point on the V is not this protracted. You can't see it so much. So you round it off a little bit. Okay? You don't make it so pointy. Round it off a little bit. But it's just one stroke. Saba'a. That's 7. Okay? Now I'm going to show you something. What does a 7 look like? If you look at it, it's not too far. I mean, you got to use imagination, but it's almost the same type of deal there. You can see the similarization. You got to have some type of imagination, though. Okay. Then the 8 is thamanya. Say thamanya. Thamanya. And thamanya is just an upside down 7, just like that. Thamanya. Now tis'a is the number 9. And it's the easiest number after 1 and 0. Because it looks just like a 9. This is a 9 in English, right? Actually, it's a 9 in Arabic. But the only difference, I would say, is it's a 2-stroke. How many strokes?
2 strokes.
In English, we make it 1 stroke because we do the circle and then we come down, right? In Arabic, we just do like this. You make it 2 strokes. That's a subtle difference, right? But make sure you keep to your thing. Tis'a. And don't you notice again, it's at a slight angle, right? These are all the numbers that you need to know. Everything else is just a repetition of these numbers right here. Just familiar yourself with them. This is not that type of an Arabic class where we're going through it in that manner. We're going to get to that, but I think the way that I'm giving it to you, you'll be experts in the Arabic language, even if you just took 1 lesson of Arabic after you get this prerequisites that I'm giving you here. Okay? Oh, my thing is up there too. See if you can place that up there also. McKean? Oh, okay. Well, I don't know. Okay, cool. That's good. I like that. That's my thing, right? So I could pull that up and save some time. So I could type up a whole lesson for you guys now, and you could read it on the board, inshallah. Okay, now we're on the part of the lesson. Remember, this is a 3-part lesson. What I wanted to do today is a little quick review. Arabic is what we're studying, right? Okay, so Arabic is, and one of the scholars of the past said that graphs is knowledge. If you can put it in a graph, then you know it. If you can see it, because we're visual people, very visual. Even some of the mufassirun, they say, and even though we're not in our tafsir class, but one of the mufassirun or some of the mufassirun say that's why Allah says alam tara. don't you see? Because children, when they start to think, what do? They look up, right? They try to imagine it. They try to see it with their eyes. And that's when they're given books. They're given books, the first beginning books, wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullah. What are they? Picture books, right? So we're like children somewhat with regards to our understanding. So here, Arabic is the science, right? That's the science. It has how many sciences under it? 13 sciences. So we can go 1, 2, 3, all the way to 13. What are the most important two? Nahwu. And what's the other one? Sarf. Okay? So these are the most important two, according to me. Okay? So now we're going to stop, and I'm going to dispose this sign over here. This is important for you to understand where we're going through with this right here, because it's all in the mind. If you can understand where you're going with this language, you can follow it a lot easier. So now we have Arabic. We have the 13 sciences, right? And the first one and the second one, let's say here. This is Sarf. And this is Nahwu, right? Now, I'm going to do this. I'm going to put it out here. And I'm going to say this is Nahwu. Everybody say Nahwu. And this one is Sarf. Okay? And I'm going to make them equal. They're going to be and, because we're doing them together. We're doing them together. So from this right here, I give you something. Etymology, right? This is etymology. What is etymology? I can't hear you. No, etymology is the study of a word before it's entered into a sentence. And grammar is what? The study of the words. Actually, it's a study of the sentence, but more specifically, the words, right, in the sentence, the changes that those words have, what those words mean after being entered into a sentence, right? So they are both important. And as we go through it, we have to learn both at the same time. The one that I deem the most important, if it was have to break between, it would be etymology. Because if you don't know vocabulary, if you don't know what the word means, you can't even put it in a sentence. Right? But we're going to do them together. And in doing it, Nahwu and Sarf, right here, I said that there are three things, there are three words now, right? The whole language is what? Three words. What is it called? Ismun, which is, what is an ismun? Supernoun, right? And what's the other one? Fi'lun. What is that called? Action word, right? And the last one, what's it called? Harfun. What's it called? Connector. It's a connector. Connectors and letters, right? Letters and connectors, right? Now, this is the breakdown we were going through. At this point, let's go here, because we're dealing with the harf first, right? Yeah. The first thing we're dealing with is the harf. Why are we dealing with the harf first? Because it's the smallest compound in the whole Arabic language. Why is it the smallest? Because it starts off with just the letters. So we're studying the language from its smallest particle to its largest. The largest would be, when we get to the sciences over here, it would be khutbah. Okay? How to give lectures and how to talk. Right? That's what that would be over here. That's one of the sciences. Poetry is some of the other ones. But right now we're starting with the smallest component. Because if we understand it from its smallest component, by the time we get to the biggest one, we're really, really speaking with authenticity and based on some knowledge, right? Because we can break it down to its very last compound, as they said. So now, the connectors, or the letters connectors, are broken into three parts, right? What are the three parts? The first part is the basic letter. The basic letter. Right? What's the next part? The connectors. Is it you sure that's the connectors?
Yeah, then the other one is the different meanings of
The second one are the words, or what do you call it? The letters with meaning. Okay? Letters with meaning. Then the third part of harf is the connectors. What is a connector? Let's go backwards. What is a connector? What is a connector?
A word is a word.
Go ahead. Don't, everybody's playing me. It's like when the children say, why did you do that? Because, it's a word that points to a meaning in another word, and it's not connected to a time frame. So it doesn't have its own meaning. Right? The meaning, a connector is a word that seeks definition through other words, right? Through being connected to other words. Or like we said, كلمة دلت على معنى في غيرها ولم تقترن بالزمن. A word that points to a meaning in something else and is not connected to what? A time frame. That's what a connector is. Give me an example. An. What does an mean? From or about. Tajawwaz, actually. Passed by. On the authority of, according to. Right? That's an. Give me another one. What? And. And what? Min. From. To. Ila. Min Bayt al-Haram ila Bayt al-Aqsa. Masjid al-Aqsa. Naam? So, we go, these are connectors. Very important words, right? Now, letters with meaning. What do we mean by that? What do we mean? Let me put min here. Ila. An. Now here, we have letters with meaning. What are we talking about? We're talking about, what does mu mean in front of a word? That's a letter with a meaning. No matter what the word is, mu's meaning doesn't change. Right? So if you put Islam here, then it's a what?
Muslim.
If you put nifaq here, then it's what? If you put shirk here, what is it? If you put falah here, what is it? Muflihun. Right? So anything you put there, mu in front of it, is what? Someone or so when. Also we have, if you put the what do you call it? An alif in between a three-letter root. So you have a root that is fa'ala, say that. Fa'ala. If you put an alif and a kasra, this alif and a kasra in the middle of it, fa'il, what have you made? You've made the ING rule. In alhamdulillah. You made the ING rule. Don't we have the word fataha? What does fataha mean? To open, or he opened. What happens when we say fatihah? Opening. Right? So this is the ING rule. It's happening. The one is doing it. Or if we say alama, right? Alima, he knew. But then alim, he's in the case of what? Knowing. That's why he's an alim. Because he's doing it. That's why we call it, he's ing it. If he's hafadha, what does hafadha mean? He preserved. He memorized. So what do we call him? A hafiz. Why? Because he's constantly keeping up his memorization by rememorizing. He's in the act of doing it. And if we take this alim and put a mu in front of it, what is he now? He's a mu'alim, a teacher. Right? So the word teacher is a derived meaning just based on knowing these things. We understand what they mean when he say mu'alim or alim. Right? And it entails understanding sarf. It entails an understanding nahwu. So these are the letters with meaning. And all of them, سألتمونيها, are combined in that statement that I just made. So if you want to know all the letters of meaning, سألتمونيها اليوم نسيتها. Today I forgot them. That's the statement. So you ask me them, or today I forgot. These two statements help you know the letters of meanings. I'll tell you that when we get there. Now, but that's all we need to know. Then the basic letters. The basic letters consist of what? Abjad. Everybody say abjad. Hawaz. Huttiya. Kaliman. Sa'fas. Kurishat. Sakhid. David. That's all the basic letters. And this is where we are now. This science, I wanted to show you this in the context of where we are at. This is the science of Arabic. This is where we're at. We're right here on Ba. You see? We got to go through all these letters, and then go to the letters with meaning, then go to the connectors, and then we'll just be finished the simplest and the smallest compound of the Arabic language. Before we can get to وقفت بها من بعد 20 حجة فلا عرفت الدار بعد توحمي. That is over here, number 12, when we get to poetry. Okay? That section is far, far away. Okay? The reason why I want to show you where we're at, from where people want to get it, say, I want to quote poetry, I want to do this, I want to do that. It takes study. It takes understanding. If you mess up anywhere in here, you'll be confused anywhere else. Don't you know that it's like building a building? What happens? Who knows construction? Omar, you know construction. If somebody messes up on the foundation anywhere by an inch, what happens when they get 12 feet, 10 feet up in the air? It's way off. You can't even put the ceiling or connect it with the wall because the angle's broken, right? So the foundation is very important. Very important. And that's what we're doing now. And this is what most people do not get. The basics. To the point where it's strong. If you asked them about alif, they couldn't tell you because they haven't thought about it, that alif follows mud. The alif comes after what? Fatha. That alif is a general letter and it consists of alif and? How many hamzas are there? 2 hamzas. What does that mean when it has this like that over? What is that? And what's the difference between that and this? Right, wasli and qati. This is very important for your understanding to be salim, solid, and healthy. Because if you don't know something simple like that, how are you going to know something like the Quran? And this is a prerequisite for tafsir. Okay? So, knowledge, one of the things Imam Shafi said that you need to gain knowledge is a long time. You need suhbat al-ustath wa tul al-amr. Take forever. You know? You got to take a long. So if you're not willing to do that, you know, alhamdulillah, do what you can do. Everybody has to do what they can do. Right? Can you erase this for me, please?
Excuse me, can you read those letters? Abjad, Hawaz, what's the...
I'm going to put them back on the board. Abjad, Hawaz, Huttiya, Kaliman, Sa'f. Erase the whole board, please. Did y'all get this right here? Because I want this in your head. I want you to see this when you do Arabic language. Okay? I want you, we're not going to be just, I know how to speak Arabic. That's not what they say when he becomes, learning Arabic is a prerequisite for becoming a mufassir. You can go to the college and learn how to speak. My name is Abu Taubah. Ismi Abu Taubah. Kayfa halik. And that's not what they're talking about. They're talking about this. They're talking about the science of the whole Arabic. Abjad, Hawaz, Huttiya, Kaliman, Sa'fas, Kurishat, Thakhid, Dadig. And use these children and their resources for everybody, you know? تريد أن تقول له? Okay. Thank you. So now that's where we are. إن الكلام, recite with me. عندنا لفظ مركب مفيد. It's got to be past memorization. There was a teacher we studied with, Abdurrazak Afifi, rahimahullah, famous sheikh. Okay, he passed away now. When we studied with him, we didn't know who he was. We just thought he was, old man, why he's still teaching. Stuff like this. I mean, you don't know no better. But he's one of the big shiuch, right? So he was teaching us how to give da'wah. The usul al-da'wah, the fundamentals of da'wah. And he took the book that we had all been given. We're so happy with our new books and everything. And he closed the book and he started saying, after he expressed what the title was, and he started to teach us. And we're like, hey, you're not leaving using books? He said, no, I know this book. Not memorize. Did you memorize the book? No, I know this book. It's his. And he's going to teach us what that book can't teach us. And so the book just becomes a reference. It becomes notes. Like that. So, and you got to pass that on. Okay? So, that comes through, first step of it is memorization though. The first step of that is memorization. Then after that, you eat it. It becomes part and parcel of your bleeding and your sweating. Okay? إن الكلام عندنا فلتستمع لفظ مركب مفيد أقسامه everybody say أقسامه التي عليها يبنى اسم وفعل ثم حرف معنى. See, now you already know this, but this is the text that you hold it through. So everybody say أقسامه. أقسامه is from the word قسم, قسم. Okay? Everybody say قسم. قسم is the word part. Okay? Or division. Something is divided. Aqsam is the plural of qism. So a qism is a division of something. Right? Did we go over this already? Okay, because some people look at me like, yeah, I got this. Okay, good. So qism is a division or a part. Aqsam is its parts. But who, everybody say who? Aqsamuhu. The who, the ha al-kinaya. Don't worry about the name. You'll learn it in tajweed. Or actually, you'll learn it when we do it in the letters. Okay, when we get to ha-waz. Okay, but ha al-kinaya, it means the ha that refers to something else. Okay, what does it mean? The ha that refers to the last madhkur, the last thing mentioned. Okay, so what are we talking about? Innal kalam. So innal kalam is what we're talking about. So we're saying the parts of, if this is the parts of what? Kalam. You understand that? So it's saying its parts. Everybody follow me? Its parts, kalam's parts, or kalam is divided into allati, that she, that it, okay? Alayha is upon, everybody say upon. Upon it, that it is divided into a certain amount of parts. Yubna, it is built. Say yubna, say to be built. To be built. In fact, yubna, we get the word bunyanun. Everybody say bunyanun. And if you knew what surah we were doing this week, you would have seen this word. What surah are we doing this week in tafsir class? Surah As-Saf. كأنهم بنيان مرصوص. Right? Like they're a building. So yubna is to build. But actually the word yubna, is this bunyan, this building, yubna is from the word bani. What's the word? Bani. And from the word bani, it comes from the word ibn. So what does that mean? It means son, offspring, something you're building your progeny. Okay? So from that you get the word building. Do you understand how the simple word son, bani, is the plural of sons, which means tribe or clan, right? That's why Banu Israel. You get me? Then bunyanun, a building, because this is what the society is built upon. Sons, daughters, offspring. Because the masculine includes the feminine. Not to be, anti-women or something like that. Okay? Now, we need to go a little bit quicker. If I'm going too slow, let me know. Okay, now, what this line basically means, this first line, has to be very well understood before we get to the next one. The first line means the parts, everybody follow me? Of speech. What is speech? Kalam. Its parts, allati, that it is built on. Okay, now that's almost a literal. How are we going to Englishise it? Speech is broken, is built and constructed upon, so it would go speech or kalam is divided and built upon, and it goes 3 dots. What's going to come next? Okay? This is the Englishization of that line. أقسامه التي عليها يبنى, meaning speech is built upon a certain amount of parts, right? So we're going like this. This is speech. This is kalam. Everybody say kalam. Kalam. Or speech, right? Al-kalam. Now it is built upon 3 things. It's built upon ismun, wa fi'lun, wa harfun, ma'na. Harfun ma'na. Harfun ma'na is what we're going to explain. This comes as one word, okay? A compound word. So everybody follow me? Speech is built on how many parts? 3 parts. What are the names of those parts? Don't you already know this? So this part of the text is very easy for you to take, all right? I'm just going to explain it one more time so we can go on to the next part. And you see, once we study this thing in a proper way, when you get to the text, you realize you already know this. Okay? Ismun, what is an ismun? What is an ismun? Supernoun. Give me a full sentence. I only accept one-word sentences from children. What's the supernoun? Okay. Wa. What does wa mean?
Wa means and.
Wa means and. Thank you. Fi'lun. What is a fi'lun? Action word. Give me a terminology in English for an action word. Verb. Okay. Thank you very much. Thumma. What does thumma mean? Then. It means then. I'll explain something to you guys. Thumma, why does it say then when it goes after this? The ulama say littarahi. There's an infisal al-waqt. There's a break. This shows and that the what comes. I'm going from Arabic to English. And the ma yati ba'daha da'if. The one that comes after this is weaker than these 2. That's why they say then. You understand that? Not a word is put here except for a reason. Then harfun ma'na. Then say harfun ma'na. Say it. Harfun is a letter or a connector. It's the smallest component. Okay? The smallest component. Harfun ma'na. A letter that comes with a meaning. So this does not include all the letters, all the harf, okay? It does not. It only includes the letters that come with a meaning. And we said there are 3 types of harf, right? Just to go over again. How many types of harf? 3 types. The one that is a basic letter, right? The one over here that is a connector, right? And then the letters with meaning or of meaning, right? Which one is this one talking about? Letters with meaning. Okay? For example, give me a letter with meaning. Mu. Give me another one. Huh? Ma? No. Oh yeah, ma like this. Just like that. Yeah, Matt. Okay, that's another one. Give me another one. No, min is a connector. Feet is a connector. Thank you very much. Alam ta'alam. Alam tara. Everybody say is a question that can only be answered by how? With a yes or no answer. It can only be answered yes or no. It corresponds with the English language is, am, did, are. Okay? So that is These are letters with meaning. Okay, at this point, I'm going to erase the board. Excuse me? All of it. Everybody got this, right? Okay, I hope you did. So that you can study this at home. Okay? It's very easy. Now we can go through, if you want, every letter. But we'll go through every letter anyway, when we get to that point. Because if we go through, alif has a meaning, ba has a meaning, ta has a meaning, tha has no meaning. But it's better to look at it and then go through it like that. But right now we'll just wait. I'm greedy to give it, but I have something else I want to give you all today. Okay, so that we can go on. Does everybody remember the poem I gave you last week? No, we don't remember the poem you gave us last week. You don't, huh? Last week we gave you a poem. It said, it was on Alif. It's called Master Letters. The name of that book is called Master Letters. Okay? Everybody say Master Letters. Why? Because before you can go anywhere else, you got to master the letters. Okay? Everybody wants to be a sheikh, but you have to be a sheikh of the huruf before you go everything else, before huruf, right? You have to be a sheikh of the letters before you can be sheikh of the huruf, the huruf, the goats. Okay, so now, it started off by saying, with Bismillah and Alhamdulillah, then blessings on the Prophet. I'll have my say with you today concerning orthographics, descriptions and their numerals, points of articulation. As each one comes and as it does, it has its own sensation. Alif, or Abjad. What was Abjad come from? Somebody tell me where the word Abjad comes from. One of the 6 kings. What was his name? No. Abu Jad. His name was Abu Jad. From this, what letters do we get? We get Alif. What else? Ba, Jim, Dal. Right? What do the Greeks and the Romans get from this? Alpha, Beta, Gamma, Delta. So we can learn Latin at the same time, right? Because they follow our same program. Then we went on and we as a quick review, we went on and we said, now Alif is the first of signs. We started off with Alif, right? Alif. And we said Alif, Ba, Ta is what they come from the word alpha or alpha beta is the word in English, right? And that's where they get the word alpha. What's the rest of the word? Bet. And actually alphabet is from alpha beta and alpha beta is from alif, ba, ta. Right? So we went over that. So you shouldn't be able to forget that part of it. Then we said, we're going to deal with just the word alif. Right? And we said, now alif there's a few things we're doing here. With each letter, we're learning a few points. What are the points we're learning? We'll put those points over here. We're learning the description. The numeric value, right? The makhraj. The tajweed rule. And exactly how to pronounce it. That's dealing with the makhraj, but it's exactly how to pronounce it. That's a little bit more technical than what, most people understand when we put it here. Now, we did that with alif. It said, now alif is the first of signs. It's makhraj, hard to find. Erase the board for me, somebody. Erase this part of the board. Okay? Now alif is the first of signs. It's makhraj, hard to find. So we learned that a makhraj, everybody say the word makhraj. Makhraj is from the word kharaj, right? And it's a place of exit, right? And the makhraj is, how many types of makhraj are there? There are 2 types, 1 and 2. The one that is haqiqi, that you can put your finger on, right? Put finger on. And the one that is, ambiguous.
But you cannot put your finger on.
And you cannot put your finger on, right? Finger on. An example of the one that you cannot put your finger on is what? Alif. Alif is a makhraj that you can't put your finger on. Everybody say ah. Where's the makhraj? It's in your mouth, it's down your throat. What? Give me one that you can put your finger on. Ba. Everybody say ba. Ba. Say ib. Where's the makhraj? The two lips pressed hard. Remember how to pronounce it. The two lips pressed what? Hard. The two lips pressed hard. Say ib. If you don't press it hard, you don't have that sound. I say ib. Be soft, real ib. You see, it gets eaten up. The sound disappears. So you have to punch it out loud. And we're going to deal with that right now. So that has two types of makhraj. One that is out loud. One that you can put your finger on, and one that you cannot. We're going to stop this. Erase the board for me again, please. So, erase the board for me, and I'm going to put bab on the board. Jahrun and shid, the two sifatun shared by bab. Like istifal and infita, it's numeral ithnan. When ba, the letter shows up right after a noon, sakina or tanwina, iqlabun is the rule. With dalaka, fly off the lips, the makhraj is the same. With qalqala, resounding loud, the ba blurts out its name. Now, just when we say jahrun and shidda, say jahrun. Jahrun and shidda. This is ba, okay? Two sifatun. What is a sifat? Characteristic. Sifat means what? Shared by ba. Meaning that alif has jahrun and shidda too. Jahrun means loud. What does jahrun mean? Loud. Shidda means strong. Okay? Everybody say ah. Now everybody say ba. You see, you have to do it loud and strong. These are two sifat shared by ba. Like istifal, just like istifal. Istifal. Everybody say istifal. Which means to be low. Okay? Everybody say it means to be low. Where's your tongue? Low. Everybody put their tongue down on the bottom of their mouth. Now say ba. Now raise your tongue up and say ba. Is that the sound we want to say? No. So your tongue has to be what? Low. Istifal, right? Like istifal and infitah. And infitah. Everybody say infitah. This means open. Okay, we know open like a what? Like a door. So you have to open your mouth like this. Say ba. You can't make your mouth round. You have to say ba. It's numeral ithnan. It's numeral ithnan. What is ithnan? Two. So it writes it down here in English and then here in Arabic. 2 is the numeric value for ba. Okay? We're doing ba here. And its description or its sifat is jahrun, shidda, istifal, and infitah. Every letter is going to have at least 5, okay? So then it says, what do you call it? When ba, the letter, everybody follow me. When ba, the letter shows up right after a noon. Now it's talking about a noon like this or a noon with tanween. Do you know the difference? Everybody say tanween. Tanween is the sound of noon. Everybody say an, in. This is called tanween. Okay? So it says when ba, the letter shows up right after a noon, sakina, everybody say sakina, or tanweena, iqlabun is the rule. Is the rule. Iqlab. Does anybody know what iqlab is?
That's when the
There's no us. Does anybody know what is that thing we got in our chest? What is it called? Qalb. It's called your qalb. It's called that because it flips. Okay? When it's called iqlab, whenever a noon comes after a ba, like in the word anbiya. What is the word? Anbiya, right? There's a noon and there's a ba, right? What do we say here?
the noon gets converted to meme.
It turns into a meme. Everybody say anbiya. But don't put your lips together. Do not pronounce the meme clearly until you get to the ba. Say anbiya. You see, your lips come close together, but they don't touch. Anbiya. So that's what it's talking about. When ba, the letter, shows up right after a noon. It comes after a noon. Noon sakin. Noon is sakin when it has nothing over it, no vowel sound over it. So it's called noon as-sakina. Or tanween. Tanween is that fatatan, dammatan, wa kasratan. Iqlabun is the rule. So I was giving you this tajweed. It's giving you all the tajweed rules you need to know regarding ba. Then it goes in the last line, and then we're going to call the adhan for the salah. It says, with dhalakun. Oh, yeah, with dhalakun. Fly off the lips. Its makhraj is the same. With qalqala, resounding loud. The ba blurts out its name. And we'll review this next week, but I'm going to tell you what it means basically. It says dhalakun. Everybody say dhalakun. Okay, dhalakun is any letter, is a description of any letter that comes off the lips. What did I say dhalakun was? Any letter that comes off the lips. The definition of dhalakun is given right in the poem. It says, with dhalakun, fly off the lips. Okay? So you don't have to think about, what does dhalakun mean? Memorize the poem. With dhalakun, fly off the lips. Whenever there's a letter in the Arabic language that comes off the lips, it's called, its description with dhalakun. Okay? Fly off the lips. Its makhraj is the same. Who's its? Ba. Ba's makhraj is the same. It's off the lips. Right? Everybody say ba. Where's the makhraj? Right there. You don't know it unless you know where the makhraj is. You don't know it unless you know how to pronounce it properly. وَأَخْذُ بِالتَّجْوِيدِ حَتْمٌ لَازِمٌ مَنْ لَمْ يُجَوِّدُ الْقُرْآنَ آثِمٌ. Reciting the Quran with tajweed, the ruling for it is called hatmun lazim, meaning it is wajib. Whoever does not recite the Quran with tajweed, athimun, is sinning. وَهُوَ إِعْتَاءُ كُلَّ حَرْفٍ حَقَّهُ. And it is to give each letter its right. مِنْ صِفَةٍ لَهَا وَمُسْتَحَقَّهُ. Its rights from what is from its description, and mustahaqqahu is when it's described next to another letter inside of a word. So if you don't know these things, don't think you're reciting tajweed correctly. Knowing is not, even Allah, He describes a dog that knows better than a dog that don't know. And this is a dog. So with dhalakun, fly off the lips, its makhraj is the same. Ba's makhraj is off the lips. With qalqala, everybody say qalqala. Didn't we learn from Surah Al-Zalzala that any word in Arabic that comes up with four-letter root, and they repeat itself like zalzala or qalqala, it is a sound word, meaning that the word has a meaning attached to the sound. Qalqala, it's a beating sound. Okay? It's like beating a drum. And it's the sound that you hear, resounding. Qalqala is a resounding, don't play the word Arabs, in English we say, I say the Arabs, the Jews, they play with the language, so they restructure how it's pronounced so you can forget the meaning. Resounding is from the word to resound. Qalqala means that the sound repeats itself. Say ibba. Say al-haqqa. That has qalqala. You see how it repeats itself? Al-haqqa. Hajj. You see that? So this is another ba. Say rabb. So here it goes with qalqala resounding loud, the ba blurts out its name. So if you say ibba, you see it said ba, it blurts out its name. And its name is what? Ba. Say ibba. You see how they blurted out its name? And that's all you need to know with regards to ba. You have the sifat, you have the makhraj, you know how to pronounce it, you know its numeric value, everything you need to go right there. Do I have any questions at this time? أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لي ولكم. Study. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.